Recording in progress.
All right. Thank you all for coming tonight. We're going to start with our organizational meeting and then we're going to move on to our regular village board meeting. So for the organizational meeting, I'd like to ask Molly, would you like to go first? Get sworn in as village trustee? While you're up, why don't we do the Pledge of Allegiance first? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, John.
So this is perfect. I am done running for election. I'm passing the baton on to Molly. Okay. Hey, Mom, hold the Bible. Hold the Bible. Hold the Bible. Put your right hand on the Bible, raise your, there we go. Okay. I state your name,
I, Mary Flynn,
do hereby pledge
do hereby pledge
and declare
and declare
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora,
the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
the position of village trustee
the position of trustee, Village of Trustee
in the Village of East Aurora, New York,
in the Village of East Aurora, New York,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Molly.
All right.
Grace?
It'll be fine.
Would you like to do that? Jeff Markello, thank you for obliging.
Just before I get started with Grace, and this might be particularly important to you, it reminds me, I've had the privilege of swearing in village board members for the last 12 or 13 years since I've been judge. And it really is a privilege to come back and do this each time. And it reminds me that before I was judge, I was town prosecutor, and Doug Markey, my former co-judge at the time, said to me, you know, Jeff, in a community of our size, there's a handful of people who really make decisions and really are movers and shakers and leaders of the community. And they're not all elected officials, but you and Molly and Ernie and Peter, who I'm about to swear in shortly after this, are really now your leaders in our community, and you're recognized that way. So congratulations to you for that, and let's get going. Okay, super. If you would, you know what, I prefer you to do it the other way. Why don't you stand over here, have your mom there, put your left hand there on the Ruth Bader Ginsburg's book. And repeat after me if you would. I state your name.
I, Catherine Grace Boudet,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York
and the Constitution of the State of New York
and the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora.
and the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora,
And I will faithfully discharge my duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
as East Aurora Village Trustee
as East Aurora Village Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Where's the Bible?
They're over there on the ledge.
You have a supporter here, Ernie? Yep. Great, awesome. All right, you there, Ernie? Brilliant. You ready? Awesome.
Let's see if I can do it without messing up this thing.
How many times have we done this? Several, right?
This is a nice time.
Nice time. Okay. This should be easy then. I state your name,
I, Ernest F. Shear,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I will
States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York
and the Constitution of the State of New York
and the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora.
and the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora,
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of East Aurora Village Trustee
of the office of East Aurora Village Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It is big.
The
wedding.
Village agendas.
Okay. You ready?
That work for you?
Okay.
Why does he have-
Come on. This is real. I state your name,
I, Peter Mercury,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully and the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora,
and the bylaws of the Village of East Aurora,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Village Mayor
of the office of Village Mayor
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
So help me God. Okay, moving on to our mayoral appointments. I'd like to announce the following one-year appointments. I'm appointing Deputy Mayor Ernie Shear and Kristen Cameron to the Board Liaison to the Tree Board.
Roll call.
What's that?
Roll call.
You want attendance first?
I mean, I think it's appropriate, but.
Can I get a roll call attendance, please, Maureen?
Trustee Lazikis. Trustee Cameron.
Here.
Trustee Vijay.
Here.
Trustee Flynn.
Here.
Trustee Kimmelhart.
Here.
Trustee Shear.
Here.
Mayor Mercurio.
Present,
7 present, 0 absent.
thank you. I would like to appoint Ernest Shear as Deputy Mayor, Kristen Cameron as Board Liaison to the Tree Board, Jeff Stoll Foreman as Staff Liaison to the Tree Board, Grace Vijay as Board Liaison to the Historic Preservation Commission, Marcia Kimmelhart as Board Liaison to the Pedestrian Bicycle Board, Grace Vijay as Board Liaison to the Boys and Girls Club of East Aurora, Kristen Cameron as Board Liaison to the Police and Fire Departments, Steve Lazikis as Board Liaison to the DPW, Ernest Shear as Board Liaison to the Parks Committee, Marcia Kimmelhart as Board Liaison to the Planning Committee, Molly Flynn as Board Liaison to the Zoning Board of Appeals, Steve Lazikis as Board Liaison to NEST, and Molly Flynn as Board Liaison to the Cazenovia Creek Advisory Committee. I would also move the following appointment. I'm going to make a motion to appoint Catherine C. Thomas as Village Administrator for a one-year term ending April 3rd, 2023. These don't need to be roll call votes, do they? Do they really? Oh. Okay, Steve. Aye. Kristen.
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly.
Aye.
Marcia.
Aye.
Ernie.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Congratulations, Kathy. I'm going to make a motion to appoint Maureen Jarakis as Village Clerk Treasurer for a 4-year term ending April 6th, 2026. Can I get a vote? Steve? Aye. Kristen?
Aye.
Grace?
Aye.
Molly?
Aye.
Marcia?
Aye.
Ernie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Congratulations, Maureen. I'm going to make a motion to appoint Maureen Jarakis to Records Management Officer, Budget Officer, and Grant Master, which just sounds really cool, doesn't it? I like it. Grant Master. For a 4-year term ending April 6th, 2026. Vote on the motion, Steve.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly.
Aye.
Marcia. Ernie.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Chris Trapp as village attorney for a one-year term ending April 3rd, 2023. Vote, Steve.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly.
Aye.
Marcia. Ernie.
Aye.
And I am an aye. Oh, you're welcome. To appoint Paul Porter to ADA Coordinator for a one-year term ending April 3rd, 2023. Voting, Steve.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly.
Aye.
Marcia. Ernie.
Aye.
And I am an aye. All right, let's see. So can I get a motion from a trustee to adopt the appointment of Maureen Jurakis as Registrar of Vital Statistics for a four-year term ending April 6th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Is that Molly? Second by Steve. Roll call vote. Well, do we need discussion on these? Do I have to do further discussion and all that? Okay. Okay, further discussion? All those, well, I still have to do them individually, so. All right, so individual vote, Steve.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly.
Aye.
Marcia. Ernie.
Aye.
And I am an aye. It's a good thing we only do these once a year, huh?
Aye.
Yeah. I'm announcing the following appointments for village historian. That Rob Goller is appointed as village historian for a one-year term. Said term to expire April 3rd, 2023. Appointment is pursuant to Arts and Cultural Affairs Law 57.07. I'm appointing for the Capital Planning Committee, the trustees Kristen Cameron as the chairperson and Molly Flynn each be appointed as Board of Trustee members to the Capital Committee for one-year term to expire on April 3rd, 2023. I'm appointing as Historic Preservation Commission that Daniel Sheff and Dr. Mark Clockey to be appointed to the Historic Preservation Commission for a four-year term. Terms expire April 7, 2026 pursuant to Village Code Chapter 156. Moving the following appointments for Zoning Board of Appeals. That Elena Smith and Gary Kimmelhurt be appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals for full five-year terms as full members, expiring April 5th, 2027 pursuant to Village Law, Section 712 and Village Code Chapter 285-66. And for Planning Commission, that Cornell Bud Babcock be appointed as alternate member to the Planning Commission for a term of 1 year. Term expires April 3rd, 2023. That Aaron Fisher and Dale Morris each be appointed to the Planning Commission for a three-year term. Terms expire April 7, 2025. Said appointment pursuant to General Municipal Law, Article 12A and Village Code Chapter 58. The Village Tree Commission, that Jesse Griffiths and Frederick Hoffman, Nick Hess, and Jen Brazil each be appointed to the Village Tree Board for a three-year term. Terms expire April 7, 2025 pursuant to Village Code Chapter 240. State Environmental Quality Review Act, also known as Seeker Review Committee, that Catherine Thomas, Elizabeth Cassidy, and Chris Trapp each be appointed to the Seeker Review Committee for a term of 1 year, said term to expire April 3rd, 2023. For the Pedestrian Bicycle Board, that Pam Saraki, Lisa Hoffman, Rob Hilliard, Seth Kaiser, Jonathan Willard, and John Lyons each be appointed to the Pedestrian Bicycle Board for a term of 1 year each term to expire April 3rd, 2023, established by Board Resolution May 16, 2005. And for the Casanova Creek Advisory Committee, that Joan Barton, Chair, Jim Clark, Ed Fuchs, Jason Rodemeyer, and Randy West each be appointed to the Cas Creek Advisory Committee for a term of 1 year each, said term to expire April 3rd, 2023. And for the Code of Ethics, that Shane Krieger and Richard Cox are appointed to the Board of Ethics for a 1 year term. Terms expire April 3rd, 2023. Appointments pursuant to General Municipal Law, Article 19, 806, and Village Code, Chapter 30. So we need a vote on those. Steve.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly.
Aye.
Marcia. Ernie.
Aye.
And I am an aye. Thank you to all those committee members who do that unsung hero work for the village and the community. They put a lot of their own personal time in. A lot of people don't even know who they are or the work they're doing. They're doing it for free. So we really appreciate all the people who step forward and help out. For the Board of Trustees meeting schedule, can I get a motion for the following resolution, move for its adoption? Be it resolved that the regular meetings of the Village Board of Trustees shall be held in the boardroom at the Village Hall, 585 Oakwood Ave, East Aurora, New York, according to the calendar listed below, and resolved that the regular meeting shall be held the first and third Mondays of each month, beginning at 7 p.m. And where an official holiday falls on the first or third Monday of the month, said meeting shall be scheduled for the following Tuesday. And be it further resolved that the public notice of the time and place of the regular meetings, special meetings, and work sessions of the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of East Aurora as established by this resolution be given to the news media as required by Public Officers Law, Article 7-104 of the State of New York, and that a calendar of Board of Trustee meetings shall be forthwith posted conspicuously on the bulletin board in the lobby of the Village Hall at 585 Oakwood, East Aurora, New York, as well as the village website at www.east-aurora.ny.us, and remain conspicuously posted during the village official year 2022 to 2023. Can I get a motion? Who's that? Marcia? Thank you.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All right, voting individually. Steve?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
Grace?
Aye.
Molly?
Aye.
Marcia?
Aye.
Ernie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Village policies and procedures. Can I get a motion for the following resolution and move the adoption of the following policies: cell phone policy, credit card purchasing policy, employee handbook, purchasing policy, rules of procedure for village board meetings.
So moved.
Hey, Kristen? Thank you, Kristen. These plastic shields throw off the acoustic. Second?
Second.
Second by Marcia. Further discussion? Voting individually. Steve?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
Grace?
Aye.
Molly?
Aye.
Marcia? Ernie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Authorization to attend conferences and meetings. It will need a motion from a trustee to offer the following resolution, move for its adoption. Resolved that authorization be given for travel for the mayor, trustees, village administrator, village clerk treasurer, village attorney, superintendent of public works for attendance at annual meetings, conferences, and training sessions of the New York State Conference of Mayors, also known as NICOM. Why isn't the police chief in there? All right. In addition to the aforesaid officials, authorization given to mayor, trustees, village administrator, village clerk treasurer, village attorney for attendance at scheduled meetings of the Erie County Village Officials Association and Association of Erie County Governments, attendance by the village clerk treasurer and or her deputies at meetings and training sessions of the Municipal Officers Association of Erie County, IIMC, International Institute of Municipal Clerks, Government Finance Officers Association, PERMA, NICOM training conferences and workshops. Attendance by the village administrator for conferences and training sessions of the New York State County, City Municipal Associations, NYSMCA, Municipal Officers Association of Erie County. Attendance by the village administrator for meetings, conferences, and training sessions of ICMA and PERMA. Attendance by superintendent and foreman of public works at workshops and meetings of Western New York section of American Waterworks Association and the New York State Rural Water Conference. Attendance by the police chief at meetings of the Erie County Police Chiefs Association and Buffalo Niagara Frontier Traffic Safety Council and the annual conference of New York State Association of Police Chiefs, a police department representative to McLaughlin Conference. Attendance by the fire chief and one assistant fire chief or alternate at the annual conference of New York State Fire Chiefs or the Firehouse Expo in Baltimore or fire conference in Harrisburg, PA. And be it further resolved that attendees be reimbursed by the village for regular and reasonable budgeted expenses incurred by their attendance at the above functions pursuant to General Municipal Law, Article 577B of the State of New York, or as provided for in the Village of East Aurora's Employee Handbook.
So
Motion.
moved.
Moved by Steve. Second by Marcia. Further discussion. Individual vote, Steve,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Grace,
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Ernie,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. I'm gonna need a motion on mileage allowance, whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of East Aurora is determined to pay a fixed rate for mileage as reimbursement to officers and employees of the village who use their personal automobiles while performing their official duties on behalf of the village. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees shall approve reimbursement to such officers and employees at the approved IRS business mileage rate in effect at the time of such travel.
So moved.
Who was that? Kristen?
I know I'm on the other side now.
I know it's throwing me off.
I'll second that.
Second by Molly. Further discussion. Individual vote, Steve,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Grace,
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia, Ernie,
Aye.
and I am an aye. This is page 7 of 8. All right, we're doing pretty good, gang. Advance approval of claims. I'm gonna need a motion, whereas Village Law, Article 5, 524-6 of the Village Law provides that the Board of Trustees may, by resolution, authorize payment in advance of audit of claims for certain recurring charges. And whereas all such claims must be presented at the next regular meeting for audit. And whereas the claimant and the officer incurring or approving the claim are jointly and severally liable for any amount the Board of Trustees disallows. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village Board of Trustees does authorize payment in advance of a regular scheduled audit. The following utility bills, insurance premiums, postage, bond debt, authorized travel advance, and fees for registration and attendance at pre-approved meetings, seminars, and conferences. Moved by Marcia, second. Second by Steve. Further discussion? Individual vote.
Aye.
Steve, Kristen,
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Ernie,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Designation of official newspaper. I'll need a motion for resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas the Village of East Aurora is required by village law to annually designate an official newspaper for the publication of legal notices, and whereas said newspaper must have general circulation and broad distribution within the village, be it resolved that the East Aurora Advertiser be designated the official newspaper of the Village of East Aurora, wherein legal notices can be published in that newspaper.
So moved. Second.
Who's the first one? Again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to move you back.
Speed racer.
Yeah. Moved by Kristen, second by Grace. Further discussion. Individual vote, Steve,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Ernie,
Aye.
and I am an aye. Designation of village depositories. I'll need a motion for the following resolution to move for its adoption, whereas the Board of Trustees has determined that Village Law, Article 4, 412(3)(2) requires the designation of banks or trust companies for the deposit of all village monies. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees designates the following institutions as depositories of all monies received by the village treasurer, clerk, and receiver of taxes: Bank of Holland, Holland, New York; Class, Hopewell Junction, New York; M&T Bank, East Aurora, New York. Can I get a motion? Moved by Marcia,
Second.
second by Ernie. Further discussion? Steve,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia, Ernie,
Aye.
and I am an aye. Fee schedule. I'll need a motion for the following resolution and move for its adoption. Resolved that the village board has reviewed the fee schedule, see attached, dated April 7, 2015, as amended. Moved by Marcia,
Second.
second by Grace.
No, that was Kristen, right?
No, it was great.
Okay.
Right, yes.
I don't know, it's just kind of, I gotta get used to this.
Further discussion. Individual vote, Steve,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Grace,
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia, Ernie,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion to adjourn the organizational meeting at 7:24 PM. Moved by Marcia, second,
Second.
second by Ernie. Further discussion. Individual vote, Steve.
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Grace,
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Marcia, Ernie,
Aye.
and I am an aye. Thank you all for joining us for our annual organizational meeting. After the regular meeting, there is refreshments in the back for anybody who would like to help themselves. Hopefully, we'll get through this in a timely manner. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the village board meeting for March 21st, 2022?
So moved.
Moved by Ernie, second. Second by Marcia. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, this just in. The new trustees need to abstain from this because they weren't at the last meeting. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Aye.
Two abstentions. So that
Oh,
Approval passes.
I need to abstain too. I wasn't here. I forgot.
Wait,
I
one,
wasn't here.
2, then I'm an I, 3, 4. We got 4. All right. So it passes. Can I get a motion to approve the payment of abstracts for 4/4/2022 for vouchers number 62082 to 62128 for a total of $81,872.04.
So moved.
Kristen,
Second by Marcia.
second by Marcia. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. All right, this is your first speakers and communications there, general public. There will be 2 opportunities as well as 2 public hearings. So if you're here to speak about one of the public hearings, you can save it for then. You can speak on any topic. When you're identified and recognized, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record and let us know what your issue is. There will be a second opportunity to do exactly this at the end of the meeting. Anybody? Anyone at all? Joe, nothing? All right. Sally?
And I'm back. And this is about the Walnut Street development. It is on the agenda for tonight. And the approval of the final plat application is on the agenda for tonight. Name and address, Sally Mitchell, and it's 206 Center Street in the village of East Aurora. And I
Could
did
you
write a
step up?
letter.
Could you step up to the microphone?
Sorry, yeah.
No, thank you. Doesn't sound like it's even
Better?
on.
Better? Is it on?
I don't think so.
Tap it. Do this to it.
Tap it.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on.
It's on.
Get right in there.
Oh, okay. It's
Please.
just my wee voice.
That's
All
better.
right. I wrote a letter yesterday, which I hope you've all received. And it is about one issue with respect to the Walnut Street development, and that is the trees, removal of trees. As a condition to the approval of the preliminary plat application, Mayor Mercurio asked that a list of the proposed trees to be anticipated to be removed be created, and that list was created and is attached as at Exhibit A to the developer's final plat application. So that list looks like this. I think you all have it. And that's a list of trees anticipated to be removed in creating, grading the property for the development and for creating the swale and under drain, which is going to be part of the easement, which is going to be part of this development. My request is that we wait or delay somehow the approval of the final plat until either the tree board comes in to weigh in on the removal of trees, the board weighs in on the removal of all trees, that a list of trees be created, all those trees to be removed, and all those trees that we want to save is very clear, that any tree removal be monitored by the East Aurora Tree Board or by the board or by the liaison to the tree board, Ms. Cameron. And the other reason for possibly delaying is that there are new members on the board today. I don't know how familiar they are with this one issue. There's, been weeks and weeks of papers flowing into the board to review. So at least there's just this one last issue that I would like the board to consider before final approval. I don't know how it would work under the village code. It's section 227-7 D as in David 1A, whether it's possible that this makes the final plat plan not in substantial agreement with the preliminary plat plan, which would then allow 62 days from the filing of the final plat plan to decide on the approval. So I just would like that to be considered, the tree removal issue. And possibly if a public hearing could be called on that one issue, that is another strategy that could be approached. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Anyone else? Holly?
Hi, you can hear me. Okay. I'm Holly Maciejewski. I live at 218 Center Street. And I am sort of going to echo what Sally says, but just for a little bit of a different reason. But before that, I really feel like I need to thank the board and the mayor for what they've done so far concerning this development, because you've heard us, we've come here, we've had our concerns, you've heard us. And I just don't know if it always works like that. And I so appreciate the time. And you have to work with the developer and us, and it just seems hard. And I'm speaking for my husband, Larry, and I, we're so thankful. That's the first thing. So I feel this is the last little piece of the puzzle about the trees. And like when I knew I was going to see a report, I thought it would be very specific as to which trees, the reasons why, what those trees are. And when I saw the report, it's not like that. And to be I don't want to sound cavalier, but if I had turned in a report like that at Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Sister Mary Victorine would have given me an F and sent me home. I think that it needs to have definitive. So many are unspecified trees. People know what those trees are, and it should be an easy thing to find out. I found out a couple of them today. And so I think that that's important to this matter. And it's important that it's provision of this being passed. The pine trees, the 11 pine trees, it says proximate to one of the lots, but those are 11 pine trees that, are about 100 feet tall, I believe. And they're considered the windbreaker tree. They're Norway spruce or Norway pine. And again, do they really have to come down? They're part of our village feeling. The other ones up on Walnut and Oakwood were also planted for the same reason. They're part of I have like a walk among the trees in East Aurora here if anybody wants to see it. But I just think that they're very important details that weren't addressed on this report. And I would love to see that happen. And again, I feel it's a final piece of the puzzle, and we'll all be happy with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Anyone else? All right, that closes our first. Oh,
Mr. Sorgi wants to respond. I didn't want to speak, but I think we kind of have to now. Peter Sorgi, project attorney.
Chris Wood with Kermit Wood Morris, we're the engineers.
Okay. So just so we're all clear, we're at the stage of the process. We've talked about the process as we've gone through this. We're at the final plat stage of the process. I know we have 2 new board members, so it's important to understand where we're at with everything. We've had a sketch plan approval from the planning board. We then had preliminary plat and seeker. Unanimous recommendation from the planning board, unanimous votes from the village board. Preliminary plat is the main portion of the subdivision approval. The reason why we don't have a report, you said she was critical of our report. Sister Mary wouldn't have liked the report. Sister Mary or Mayor Mercurio didn't ask us for a report. They asked us for a list. We submitted a 230-page document during preliminary plat to address every concern and everything that was raised in the code. The reason there's no tree report in here is because the code doesn't require it. And it's very, very important to go through that process. The part of the process we're at now is that the public hearing is closed. We had a public hearing. There was a motion to keep it open. It was kept open. People came back. We had a second public hearing. In addition, people were able to speak at several meetings before that, 2 planning commission meetings, and a meeting that we held with concerned people nearby. We were asked at the end to submit a list of the trees. We did exactly what we were asked to do, and it's not required by code. I could have said, you know what, we're not going to do it because your code doesn't require it. But of course, we didn't do that. We submitted it. We went through the process. We've been through this process over and over again. I don't want to be argumentative, but I think this is
Don't
somewhat-
respond to, just go directly. You can.
Well, I know, but what we're trying to do here is we're trying to in all caps, she wrote, you need to delay this. You need to delay this. And we need to have the tree board. Look at your tree code. Tree code does not have any jurisdiction over this for the tree board. So to appoint the tree board doesn't make any sense because there's no mechanism in law to do so. And if you're going to do it, it should have happened a month ago. The request should have came a month ago. It's not your fault. This request should have came a month ago. In terms of the trees that we did submit there, we have listed certain trees that have got to come down. They have to come down because that's where the swale is going to go. That's where the swale is going because that's where the village asked us to put the swale, and we agreed to do that. There's certain trees right outside the swale, which we said we will try to keep. But the reality is the roots will come down to where the swale is. And if the roots go, the trees are probably going to go. But we'll do our best. We don't want to cut any trees down that we don't have to cut down. It doesn't make any sense. The property values are improved by trees and it costs money to take them down. Why would we want to take them down? The current property owner could take them down today with, without any application. But this is very, very far beyond where we were. So just so we're clear, we have no report because we weren't asked to do a report. If we were asked to do a report during preliminary plat where that report should have been had, we would have done it. Absolutely no question about it. To do this now, literally at the 11th hour, I was criticized for submitting something to the board the day of a meeting. This came in Sunday evening. I couldn't respond to it because if I responded to it, I would have been criticized like I was before for submitting something the day of the meeting. So I literally couldn't even type an email to the village board. We have gone through this process. We have worked with everybody. We have unanimous support among this board, the planning board, and 89 people were sent public hearing notices for this. And if you remember the last two public hearings, there wasn't a lot of criticism because everything we've done, we were asked to do, we've done. The sole legal criteria for approving final plat right now is our preliminary plat in substantial conformance with is the final in substantial conformance with the preliminary. It's identical with the exception of a couple of details that we added at the village's request on what were those?
To clean the pipe between the catch basin and the one corner of the property and where it connects into the 24-inch pipe.
So the only changes on Chris's plans were that right there. He had to put that note on the plan per the village engineer. We did it. We were asked to submit a list of the trees we were going to remove that we think we're going to remove. We did it. So your only decision right now is, are we in substantial compliance or conformance with the preliminary plat? It's not a lot of discretion right now that you have because we've gone through the process. We've followed the process. I'll simply answer the questions you may have.
So,
Didn't think there were questions, sorry.
well, so you are saying that you will not remove any trees that are not necessary to be removed. That whatever trees that have to be removed, are trees that are in the way of the swale and the under drain.
Or where a house is going to be built.
Or the house.
which is
Or the
process,
houses.
yeah.
Okay, so that anything removed is necessary and has to be. Now, what about the Norway spruce?
Those are all,
That's where the trees,
That's
that's where the
where the
house is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the variance that they granted brings it within how many feet of the Butland house? 10?
I believe one of those lots is 65 feet in frontage and one is 70.
Right, but the 65 footer, I think to make it work and get the two in there, right? Because originally you guys had talked about doing one house in front of a house, which nobody was crazy about how that looked. So we got creative and do a house next to.
That wasn't us.
Oh, was it the?
No.
Okay,
We never-
but they ended up approving, they approved the variance for a 70 footer, which
Yeah.
is the village code, and a
Before us.
65 foot variance so that it could squeeze it in. But it required you to bring that lot up close to Butland's existing house, which is right where that line of pine trees is. Just Ernest, you understand the,
Yeah.
in your head. So that's where the house really needs to go,
Yeah.
you know, where that line of pines is. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, yeah, Steve and I walked the property and using your list, we just kind of went through and tried to find everything on here. And the 11 pine trees, I mean, it's too bad, but that's right where the house has got to go, you know, unless you could save one up in the front, you know, or, you know, maybe if the neighbors, maybe if the new property owners want a nice tree still there, maybe you could build around it, but I mean, I'm
And our list
no
says-
builder,
Yeah,
so.
and our list says potentially.
Right.
I mean, we were asked for that. So we put, after that meeting, I said to Bill Burke, who's over there, and to Andy Romanowski, who's out of town, put as many in as you
Mhm.
think. Because we don't want to say, oh, come back and say, oh, sorry, we took this one down. So what's the worst case scenario?
Right.
It's-
The dead tree on Prospect, that old one's too bad, but that thing's shot. The felled trees on the eastern boundary of the northern lot line, that made sense. Then the west property line was a little bit of a concern. Where it says two small trees proximate to swale, 4-inch unknown species. Because there's a lot of big trees right along that line, but
Right.
we're basing it on, like, we were basing it on where those fences are as far as where the property line is. But you don't have any intention of, like, because it says limbs on those trees, it just says limbs and small trees and saplings.
Well, that's why too, if you look on the plan, the easement along that west property line is 25 feet.
Right.
The easement on the other
Yeah.
side property lines is smaller.
Mhm.
We try to make it wider so we could push it away and keep some more of those trees along that
Good.
west property line.
Yeah, because that really, it's right along the property line between all the Center Street neighbors and these lots. So hopefully, if it's far enough, where is the low point of the swale going to be to drain? Is it going to be in the middle, or is it going to be
The
closer to
southwest-
Walnut?
Southwest corner of the property, furthest away from Walnut, in the back corner where that existing catch basin is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean the swale that goes all the way north, south
Yeah.
along
Yeah, they're always-
the west side of the property.
I mean, in terms of, and we're still talking about like 300-foot backyards too, when you're talking about the
Right,
Center
right,
Street
right, yeah,
properties. Now they could be, just so we're all clear, just moving forward, they didn't have to be that big a backyard. We agreed to put these houses here. We could have put them back here.
Mhm.
Completely out of character, could have staggered.
Right.
We said, you know, what, we're not doing it.
Right, the-
Yeah.
And Chris, as he said before, did design this
Yeah.
well in a certain area to preserve as many trees as could,
Right.
and reviewed by the village engineer.
That was our concern, is the trees that are right along the west property line.
Or you can see. Everybody else can see, right there. The center line of the swale is here.
Right.
That's where the trees are.
Yeah, they're right on the edge. So you're able
We
to,
Purposely pushed it away. from
so the
property
roots
line.
don't mess with everything, right?
So those trees stay.
So you don't feel you're gonna need to
The larger trees.
chop them up or anything. There's a couple little ones that cheat in a little farther. Those are the ones you're referring to here. But as far as like limb removal or anything, you don't need to hack those up.
Right, and then as far as the low points down.
Right.
Everything comes this way and that way.
Yeah, and I guess along the south property line, the 6 ash trees and the bushes up maybe 30 feet off of Walnut, that makes sense. The 1 cherry, the 1 ash, that makes sense, of right in the swale. The only concern, Steve, I mean, maybe agree with me on this, was in the notch itself, the southwestern notch. It looks like there's about 30 feet between the property line and those 2 really big, those 14-inch
Yeah,
trees.
that's the 2 large trees in close proximity to swale
Yeah.
and under drain,
I mean, the-
14-inch.
Yeah, the one next to the drain grate, I get, and the smaller one in the middle of the swale, I get, but those 2 huge, beautiful trees that are right there, is there a way to go around them? There's so much room between the property line and the trees. Can you tap into the storm grate that diagonally cuts across there? Or can you bring it around to the drain gate? Do you have to remove those 2 trees? It said in your notes, removal will be avoided if feasible.
Right,
Yeah.
once we get out there with the contract, we'll have a better idea exactly how we can run this place.
Mhm.
But the best way to keep it from getting clogged in the future is a straight line between the yard drain and the catch.
Mm.
And that's kind of what a lot of people were concerned about, make sure this continuously flows doesn't get clogged up.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we did it. There's also a pipe in the catch basin and that storm line, which now.
Uh-huh.
So that could also be something, but we won't know 100% for sure until we get out there with the contractor. And again, those are listed as, we're gonna try to keep them.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm concerned about. I'm wondering if we can get creative and find a way. I don't know, add it, move the catch basin, add another catch basin, tap right into that storm line. I'd like to have our engineer weigh in on that. I don't want to delay the final plat at all, but I would like to delay those 2 trees coming down before, at least until our engineer and your contractor gets to have a look at it.
Right, we can work with,
Yeah, you guys have been flexible. You guys have done a ton to alleviate a lot of people's concerns. I think the neighboring properties are gonna be drained better and drier after this is all over with all the movement, that you're gonna be doing back there. But like I said, those 2 trees and making sure You didn't chop up the ones along the back, the west property line. Were our big concern. Steve, did I get that right?
Those two, you're talking about the two large ones there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty healthy. They look good. And be ashamed to cut those down as well.
Yeah, I walked the property with one of the tree board members today, and it was the same concern as those two large trees.
Yeah.
We could get creative with that drain line, maybe going straight over from the new catch basin right into the existing drain.
So maybe we make it a condition that we approve the final plat. I mean, if everybody's game. But just those two trees don't get removed until our engineer and their contractor have had a look at it and agree there's no way around it, or yeah, there is a way to save them.
It's consistent with the condition you already put in.
Can we add that?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, can I just talk to him just so I can understand what that means?
Mm. So we can make that. How do we make it clearer?
Yeah, so
Just
if I can just,
1 second. I'm doing the same thing. Your engineer's talking to his attorney.
just answer my questions. It's gotta be, that's how it's worded. How's it worded? I mean, all right. Yeah.
Really close one right there, then there's two big guys, one here and one here. I was thinking, I don't know. If you dig a trench, you're gonna kill them anyway. So, but if there's any way, they're helping, real healthy. That was the reason.
This is what,
Yeah, we're looking at it right here.
so I drew it out on line earlier, and we sneak between those trees. And get right into the 24.
Basically, right in the same line.
As the other one, yeah.
We get rid of that existing
Yeah,
catch basin.
that's why it's right.
And shove it, a new
Yeah.
catch, yeah, put,
Just
what
put
is
right
it,
over.
right here, put it this
They're
way,
only digging, I mean,
doesn't have to go
doesn't have to be
Right.
deep,
Just to avoid those things.
right?
We go straight over. from the
Instead of
other
going
side.
that way, take this
Straight across.
like that and shift that over 6 feet or so.
Yeah.
No.
This is blind practice.
When we're doing 4C, that's a condition.
Yeah.
That the two trees
I get you.
until. This is a discussion agreement. I refer discussion. Contract. Then we have a discussion to chop down. Yeah, right?
I know. Well, we should have our meeting over here.
Yeah.
We could have our own little personal meeting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's better than all of this.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful. There it goes.
Yeah, these two seem stable. Yeah. The engineer's got a plan to take.
Huh? I didn't think so.
I'm not gonna figure out how to practice.
So just move the grant, right? Over.
Where'd she go? The black. Yeah. And then that.
Makes sense. I have to go back and walk it again. Refresh my memory.
All right, you know what, Pete and Chris, I think I'm gonna end speakers and communications and knock out the public hearings while we're doing this, and then we'll come back to it, okay? Okay, right.
Yeah, we're not cutting you off.
It's gonna get,
We
we just gotta get,
we
gotta make it happen. No, and Chris, we won't do anything without you having a second, okay?
Absolutely.
You get to see it. All right, anybody, speakers and communications, anybody else? Nope, nope,
No,
you already
we-
spoke.
Actually, we talked.
Okay.
We have to move on.
You miss? Rob? Yep.
Good evening, Dave Simeon, 121 King Street. I'm also on the tree board, so just a couple comments. I know the tree board doesn't really have a whole heck of a lot of say in this, as Mr. Sorgi pointed out to me in the hallway, so thank you for confirming that. But just a couple things. First, I wanted to echo your sentiment. I think those two big trees in the back swell, if they can be in the notch, if those can be saved, that would be great. They're the biggest trees back there,
Mhm.
probably on the whole lot. And then, my only other note is it would be a shame to potentially lose that row of pines along Prospect. I guess, the variance took care of that, so there's really not much we can do there, but it really is a shame because they're huge and they'll never be replaced in our, in our lifetime. So,
Yeah.
Everything else, there's not really much else to say about the other trees, but
Mhm.
those two in the back and, that's really it, I guess.
Okay.
So, thanks.
Thanks, Dave. All right, anyone else? All right, we're ending the speakers and communications. Can I get a motion to open 3A, public hearing at 7:56 PM to consider a permit to keep 4 dogs at 39 Maple Street?
So moved.
Moved by Ernie, second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Public hearing is open. Anyone from the public want to speak on the 4 dogs at 39 Maple Street? Is the applicant here? Do they want to say anything?
Board, we did not get any complaints from the memos that were sent out. The police department did not have any complaints, nor did the dog warden. All 4 dogs are licensed.
What was the reason?
So all 4 dogs are licensed. They have what, a 12-year-old, a 4-year-old and 2 8-month-old labs, right? They got a fenced-in backyard. All right, well, let's close the public. Anybody else? What?
How many people were notified in the surrounding neighborhood?
I'm sorry, I don't remember. I don't know off the top of my head. It's the required amount. Yep,
500 feet.
500.
All right,
And no response.
we got no complaints, no comments at Village Hall.
okay. I did talk to one neighbor and she had no problem with it. Hi.
Can you talk into
You
the
have-
microphone?
You have to talk to the mic, please.
The area has a
Thank you.
lot of dogs right now. I'm wondering if there's a limit on how much barking we're supposed to put up with. It is loud. There's probably on Shear, which is right behind that house. We might have 6 or 7 dogs. So we expect to hear some barking, but there is an awful lot of barking going on. And I'm wondering, how much barking are we expected to enjoy before we can do something about it?
Yeah, is the barking referring to just generally in your neighborhood? Because I went to the property and you look down the hill and Shears, down at the bottom of the hill there. So is it these particular dogs? Because they already have the 4 dogs,
Right.
correct?
I
Yeah.
hear them all the time.
These 4
It's hard to identify.
are just dog, okay.
Because there's dog. So in general, what do you do when it gets out of hand?
Hmm.
Because last summer it was getting out of hand, and I don't know if she had those dogs then. But already we have an awful lot of barking in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
So where do you turn to?
Well.
That's a legitimate question. I wonder, does anyone here have an answer? What do you do? Is there a dog warden?
We have a dog
Shane?
warden? Yep. Shane, you want to take the microphone? Please?
The code speaks of habitually barking dogs. So how you define that, I don't really know. But if it's an issue, feel free to call the police department. During business hours, during the week, you can call the town highway and ask for the dog control officer to respond also. So, and we'll try to get the dogs in. As the police department, we try to appease everybody and get the dogs inside so they're not outside barking if they've been out too long, but we'll work with you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, oh, no, sorry, you go ahead, Kathleen, thank you. So their fenced in area is right up against the back of their house, right? If we approve this permit and their dogs are a nuisance habitually, can we revoke the permit? We can, right? Can you revoke if we approve 4 dogs and they prove to be a consistent problem, we revoke the permit? Or we make them get rid of the dogs? They would have to alleviate the barking, however they do it, or they lose the permit.
Do these specific 4 dogs, and if there's a problem, then not renew it for additional dogs next time. That's another option.
It says at the bottom of the permit, such a permit shall be revocable at any time by the Board of Trustees. blah, blah, it's got the normal kind of legal boilerplate.
So you can, but you hate to have to tell somebody they gotta get rid of their
Well,
dogs.
yeah, I'm not saying I
So
want
hopefully
to.
they toe the line and make sure they're not a nuisance to their neighbors so they
Right.
don't lose their dogs, right?
Maureen, was there anything submitted in addition to the permit application explaining why? I mean, this is retroactive. They've got the dogs. So this is a ask for permit or ask for forgiveness rather than permission. So do you know what's behind?
I don't, I did not speak
So
with
this is
them.
it.
Yeah, that's just the application.
I wish the applicant was here.
The applicant was here. The applicant had to leave for work. Oh, he's still here? Okay.
Can I get your name and address, please? Up to the microphone. Thank you.
We have two young dogs. They're 9 months now, two boys. Both are, they will be spaded within a year. We're waiting for the full year as recommended by a vet. They both had their initial booster shots for rabies. They will be getting their rabies in September, their full rabies shots. We have a 4-foot fence right now. I am gonna be putting up a 5-foot fence. If people live around the area, we have just removed 3 out of 4 trees. You can see it from sheer, they're black walnuts. So the yard looks like a demolition zone until they pull all those trees out. The oldest dog will be 13. Her name is Holly. We don't expect her to live too much longer. At the, if she makes it to her birthday in December, we'll be lucky. And then there's a 4-year-old Yorkshire Terrier. That's all I can tell you. It does come up to the house, the fence goes over, down the property line, inside our bushes. We cut off a portion of the backyard where we used to have a pool. So it's away from the house, the rear house on Shear by a good 20 feet or so. The fence that we put in. That's all I can tell you. So.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You had something, sir? Close enough. Rod Simeon, 85 Byberry Court. I'm on the town ZBA, and in cases like this, where there's an excessive amount of dogs beyond the code, we tend to grant a 1-year approval with the condition that if there's no complaints during that year, petitioner comes back a second time for permanent approval. Something to consider.
Thank you. Thanks, Rod. Anybody else on the 4 dogs at 39 Maple? All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing at 8:04 PM?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second. Second by Marcia. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing 3A is closed. Public hearing 3B. I get a motion to open a public hearing to consider a special use permit for 695 Main Street for Dope is Dough at 8:05 PM.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Public hearing is open. Is the applicant here? Dope is Dough? No?
I don't see them.
All right. Anybody on the public, from the public want to speak on the Dope is Dough request for a special use permit? Anybody's a big fan of their bagels, want to chime in? All right. All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing at 8:05 PM?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen and second by Marcia. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing 3B is closed. Moving on to official considerations. Can I get a motion to approve a permit to keep 4 dogs at 39 Main Street?
Maple.
What did I say? Oh, yeah, you're right.
You were close.
Oh, there you go. 39 Maple Street.
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second?
Second by Ernie. Further discussion. Do you want to put any kind of conditions on it or wait and see?
I don't think it's unreasonable to have a 1 year contingency. We haven't had any complaints sent in from neighbors. And that, I think that counts for a lot, carries some weight, but I think to play it safe, we give them a year and see how it goes.
I'm willing to amend my motion
Thank you, Steve.
to include a 1 year probation period.
All right. Ernie, you gonna amend your second?
Yes, I will amend my second to include a 1 year probationary period.
And then the applicant needs to reapply. All right, and we'll waive the fee for the
Waive.
second time?
Yeah.
He's gonna be
Yeah,
waiving the
seems
fee the
right.
second time, right? All right, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ayes, 1 nay. Pardon? Marcia.
Marcia.
It's okay. All right. The motion for the 1 year approval for the permit to keep the 4 dogs at 39 Main Street, and then the applicant has to reapply but doesn't have to pay the fee, has been approved. 4B, can I get a motion to approve a special use permit for 695 Main Street for Dope as Dough, including a neg deck under the State Environmental Quality Review Act? Moved by Marcia, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Let's go to 4D. Can I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for the fine art and exhibit sale on June 25th and 26th at the East Aurora Middle School?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for Arts in the Alley Festival on 6/5, 7/3, 8/7, and 9/4 behind 42 North.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second. Steve?
Yep.
Further discussion? Any comments from the applicant back there? Hi, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. 4F, can I get a motion to refer to the planning commission on May 3rd, the special use permit application for a residential auxiliary dwelling unit at 59 Center Street for Kathleen and James Ray Flynn with Michael Anderson of Abstract Architectural PC.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. 4G, can I get a motion to refer to the planning commission on May 3rd, the special use permit application for a residential auxiliary dwelling unit at 402 South Street for Brian Ellis?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second by Ernie. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. 4H, can I get a motion to approve the budget adjustments as listed? Moved by Marcia, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. 4I, can I get a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the documentation to purchase the pump doctor leak monitoring system with the quote, part of the Sourcewell Purchasing Group? Moved by Marcia, second.
Second.
Second by Kristen. Further discussion? Matt,
Yes, sir.
you want to tell us about that?
The DEC was in and did a evaluation of our fuel systems and oil storage facilities. And they noted that we have a leak detection system that detects water entering the inner wall of the fuel tank, but we do not have a leak detection for fuel exiting the tank and they recommended highly that we get one.
So this is gonna notify us if there is a leak into the surrounding soil.
Yeah, this will notify us if fuel leaks out of the inner tank and into the outer wall of the protection wall.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody have any concerns, questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 4I is approved. 4J, can I get a motion to approve the temporary use permit for celebration of Ukrainian people and culture to benefit World Central Kitchen? Wall and Wine's temporary use, Wall and Wine's hotel contingent on the clerk receiving the proper certificate of insurance and indemnification paperwork. It's in my agenda. So you got it all, right? Okay, good. Right. The application and permit fee to be waived, but the full cost of the mailings themselves to be paid to the village. Maybe you want to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Marcia, second by Steve. Further discussion? Councilman McCann, would you like to shine a light on it? Please.
So as everybody knows, the situation in Ukraine is dire and people are hurting. So many of us, including Jen Brazil and Councilman Wachinski, who are here tonight, decided to come together and put on an event to raise money for the World Central Kitchen, which is a wonderful organization that was featured recently in the Advertiser. A couple of EA grads are working with them in a natural disaster or war zone. They're usually the first on the scene to make sure that the food insecurities of those who have been displaced are being met. So that's the idea. We're gonna close down a little section of Oakwood. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have food. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's what we have. And I believe we've already paid that $30 fee, right? All right, excellent. So we should be squared away on any fees required.
Awesome.
All right, any questions?
It's a great idea. Thanks, Joe.
Thank
You're
you very
working
much.
with the chief as far as road closure?
Well,
and all
we've
that?
talked to the chief about road closure, so I think we have that squared away. And Matt, do you have anything in terms of barriers for closing roads? Like, do you have bike racks or those fillable things? So when do those have to get cracking?
Probably an hour or two before we close the road.
Okay.
For the event.
Okay.
Hour or two before the event.
So we don't start till 1, so there should be plenty of time that morning, right, to shut everything down?
You just fill them out of the hydrants?
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your assistance with that.
Luke, you want to add anything? I didn't see you back there. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. I don't know why you guys are in our seats tonight, but I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
We thank you for waiving the fees if you do choose to do so. Can we list the Village of East Aurora as a sponsor of the event, considering you waived the fees?
Sure.
That's a question for you.
Oh, no, it's a great idea. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, nice. We support it. I support it. I assume the rest of the board's okay with it.
Yep.
I mean, anti-Ukrainians on the board, are there? All right. Very good. Thanks, fellas. All right, so any other discussion from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Congrats, looking forward to it. All right.
Pete said this is gonna be a short meeting. Short and quick and off the cookies and cake, you know?
I thought this was gonna be a short one. Yeah. Glad my mom didn't stay. Stuck around for the good part. Yeah.
Say they have to cut those Norway spruce down. And no way they're around that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Surprised my kids are still here. 3 of the 4. Others up in Syracuse getting trained for urgent care job.
I was surprised that I wasn't here. That makes sense.
Ashley drove out from Lincoln.
Yeah, I see that.
Get together after. Kristen and Ashley grew up together. My daughter Ashley.
Where is that?
Yeah, we should live together in the south.
I have college, yeah. Did you go to Geneseo too?
No.
Somebody was there, there's a Subaru I found. Where did I see it? Oh, that's Pete. Yeah, yeah, his kid goes there. That's right.
Yeah,
That's my.
So.
I love that school. We went there when it was fun. Partying.
both my parents did.
Yeah. When did you graduate? 87? That's when I graduated. Yeah, I was there then. Oh, yeah. That was a good time. High price goes from here on. Okay, we're not talking about we probably would cross paths. Global factory.
It's gonna be.
Nope, when I decided I
Undergrad, started transfer to TV, and then I don't No, I didn't actually feel like my, I had a major in math. I worked in for a long time.
Yeah. I never went to college. Yeah. It was my first teacher here at Scout. And he's got service. I kind of like it. I got my master's stuff.
Holding everything up. We're holding everything up. Well,
Yes, like it.
You never quite know where you're gonna go. So like it's a school, it's a lot of you.
I was gonna.
If anybody in the room was reappointed to a volunteer board at all, feel free to see me after the meeting's over, because I will have you sign the oath book, so you don't have to come in another day. Again, if you were appointed to a board or anything today, please see me at the end and I'll let you sign the oath book.
Project. Can I add that?
Yes.
How's that?
The shortest meeting we ever had was like 20 minutes. Yeah, it was.
Something environmental. I would rather.
yeah, me too.
So we're gonna remind him of that.
Yeah. That's good to get it.
Wait, how come I didn't get any good committees? What's going on here?
We get to have safety meetings.
Oh, right. Do we meet at the Barbara?
So you're not.
All right,
Make sure it's.
we all back? All right, we're going back to 4C.
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 See or not?
Still here? Oh, he is still here. Back by the cookies. All right, can I get a motion to approve the final plat application for the Walnut subdivision? Moved by Marcia, second. Second by Ernie. Further discussion. I would remind the applicant that in the plat you submitted, you did state you only remove the trees that you find necessary for completion of the project, successful completion of the project, including the proper drainage. So in your notes in the plat, you did say removal will be avoided if feasible, and we hope you can find a creative way to save those 2 trees. And anything else, I mean, if there's pines, like I said, if you find it, you know, a better option for a purchaser who might want a couple big pine trees in their yard, you know, and you can still, I can see you got to get rid of most of the ones in the middle, but the ones up in the front and the ones in the back, maybe you could save some of those too. But again, just reminding you, in your plat, you said you're going to try and save as many trees as you can and do what you have to. All right. Any other discussion from the board? Talk trees, and more trees?
I guess I just want to say that I think that I'm sure for the developer, this seemed like an ungodly long process, but I think that there's been a lot of cooperation and a lot of give and take. And I felt like this is a great opportunity for the public to have input. I felt like people were listening on both sides, and I think it was a good process. So thank you very much to everybody who participated.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate the residents coming forward with their concerns and kind of shining a light on some things that helped us understand that neighborhood better. You guys had the boots on the ground, and you affected big change. And I do appreciate Peter and the applicant, who made a lot of big changes in this project to try and make it a successful project overall for everybody. So they get, you know, they're part of a neighborhood, and they could have come in here and fought us on everything, and they worked with us on everything. So I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, I've known Pete for a long time, since before he was an attorney, and I know he's a man of honor. He will do the right thing. And I trust that he's going to do everything he can to save those trees and make it work. You know, I feel like I appreciate, you know, all the efforts you've made and your team to accommodate the needs of the neighbors and listen to us and listen to the residents, more importantly. So I appreciate that.
Yep, I appreciate that. Also, I also want to thank the tree board for weighing in. It's true that's not their jurisdiction, but there are a lot of times that we lean on you guys because you're the experts on these things, and we only know so much about trees. It's the liaison, I'm picking up a lot, but you guys know substantially more than I do. So thanks for weighing in.
Yeah, Dave, you come to a lot of the meetings, and that's fantastic. It's nice having somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to the trees available. So appreciate it. Anybody else? All right, with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4C is approved. Congratulations. Moving on to old business, 5A, the 203 Main Street demo update. Hi. Good to see you again.
We do have an update. So it wasn't looking too good. We actually,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yes, Mike Anderson, Abstract Architecture, 313 Broadway, Buffalo, New York. We, until earlier this week, when some other wonderful clients of mine regathered and reintroduced themselves to the project. They were one of the couples we had told you about who were interested in 203 and had stepped away early in the process. Everyone else we've spoken to actually decided no. So we were down to 0. Jimmy and Kathleen actually contacted me this week, and you just sent their request for an ADU onto planning board, and they are very interested in using 203 as their ADU. So we are starting some due diligence on that to see if it can work.
I'll tell everybody what ADU is.
Auxiliary dwelling unit. It was item 4F. So that's where we're at. So it's looking quite positive right now. We're gonna do some background work for them, do some estimates. We believe we have a company that can move it as a single piece, find out what's required there. And I'm hoping that when we come back to you guys next, we will have a definitive answer for you.
Awesome.
Other than that, I assume there's no questions, but I'm here. if
Anybody have
there
a
are.
question for Mike?
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank you. No new business, second speakers and communications. Anybody wants to speak on any topic, raise your hand. When acknowledged, come up to the microphone, state your name and address and let us know what your issue is. Anybody? Sir. Hi.
You can take your microphone down unless you're.
Yes, how about that?
Unless you're-
Can you hear me?
the other guy.
I live on Main Street. I think I have a contract to purchase 47 Elm Street. And I'm looking to turn it into apartment building, looking to put 12 units in there, make the building, expand it a little bit, clean up the parking lot, make more parking, et cetera. I just wanted to introduce myself and, make you aware of that and see if you could develop any opinions as to try to head off anything down the road. I mean, I know I'm several months away from approval on that, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention now, introduce myself.
So you haven't closed on it yet?
We have not closed on it. It will be contingent on it's only zoned for 4 units, so we'll be contingent on getting 12.
This is all new to us, so. that's
This
good.
is new to, yes, it's new to
New to
me.
everybody.
This happened today, so, yeah.
You know, your name is Patrick Hanley?
Patrick Hanley.
I would ask if you could give your contact information to Maureen over there. And then if we come up with stuff, we can keep you in the loop as well. And
Okay.
if
Want
you
some
come up with stuff,
pictures?
you
Can
can bust
I
some
brought
up.
you some pictures of renderings.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. I'll leave it
It
there.
all goes-
Well, did you bring enough? Did you bring enough for everybody?
I brought 8.
8? Yeah, pass them out. Let's take a look.
Okay.
I'll give you one more.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a pleasant surprise. Maybe.
Just so the board is aware, Patrick and I have talked about this project and he's understanding of the process, the zoning variances that may be required depending on exactly how many units he lands on, and then the site plan and special use permit approval process that would have to occur after.
What you're looking at is, I don't know if you're familiar with the building narrows at the top. So the upper floors, the entire building would be too small to put in stairwell and elevator in the building. You'd lose so much square footage, it wouldn't work. You wouldn't have enough square footage to live in. So we would put an addition on the back for 2 stairwells and an elevator. But then you run into the issue of there's not enough square footage on the upper floors for that kind of, for an elevator service and a stairwell to get up that high. So I'd want to build out the building to have a full profile. So the building would look square from the street. And then we'd be able to get all the apartments that we would need for each floor.
So right now you got the high part, right? And there's like a lower part next to it. Are you talking about building the high part all the way over?
Build the high part all the way over.
Oh,
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks for dumbing it down for me. I appreciate it. I understand.
So all the parking would be, obviously be for the caboose and for the tenants, the future tenants of the building.
Correct.
Yeah.
In return, I think the village would get some, right now, the parking over there at the caboose specifically is kind of a melee. I think the village might get 3 or 4 parking spaces on Elm Street that I guess the village has during the winter time, but once the chains come down for the access to the driveway, they lose them. So I would have limited access to I would have a single lane in and out of the parking lot instead of the whole curb cut that's there
Curb it,
now.
Right. And then there'd be room for cars on the curb.
And I
along the
can't
street.
say how close those cars can be. I don't know that, but I would think you'd get that back.
Interesting. Well, great. And Liz, you have his contact info?
I don't have his contact.
Okay.
I've taken a lot of Liz's time up, like too much. My architect took up too much.
Leave it with
Yes.
Maureen. That'd be fantastic. All right. Anybody have any questions for Patrick before he steps away? All right. Thanks for giving us the heads up. Appreciate it. That's interesting. All right, any other speakers of communications? Anybody else? All right, department head report. Shane, police chief.
Just a couple things. The DEC is coming in the next couple days to do some testing in our basement for that Mr. C's issue from several years ago. Just checking for pollutants under the building, I guess. We'll find out more when they get here.
How often, like when was the last time they checked? Don't they check?
I'm not
periodically?
aware that they were in the building before. I don't know. Yeah, the last summer, Matt says they were in the parking lot sampling it, so.
Across the street?
No, in our parking lot.
Oh, in your parking.
But now they're coming in and want to test in the basement. I was speaking to County Legislator Joe Larigo, and he was so kind as to be able to get me just over $43,000. And that will pay for our new radio system that we're looking at right now. Some dispatch guide charts that assist the dispatchers in making sure they ask the right questions depending on what the scenario is. And they're quite expensive, surprisingly. I thought, flip charts would be cheap, but they're not. We needed 2 new AEDs, and those are also going to be purchased.
So he got us, how much?
For just over $43,000.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I
Nice
thought
job.
so.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Shane.
So that's it.
That's great news. Wow. All right. Sorry, you got to follow that up, Matt. Superintendent of Public Works, Matt Hay.
Nothing really to report. Just doing our spring cleanup.
Appreciate it. I know the school reached out to me about putting up the banners for the kids again this year. So you're in contact with those folks, right?
Yes.
Good. And the VFW, the Legion, Bill Lewis reached out to me and said they're up to 22 veterans banners, which Maria and Proda at the PTO said we could use those brackets. Obviously not during the same time when the kids' photos are up there, but
Yeah, those will be going up when the high school seniors banners come down.
good. Yeah, we got 22 already, which is 44 veterans. And I think once we put those up and kind of show everybody, it'll kind of be a nice selling tool so more people take advantage of it. I think it's only $40 to put the village or town resident who was a veteran, alive or deceased, just to honor them and put them up on those banners. So hopefully this helps spread the word and gets more people to take advantage of it and help us honor those folks. Anything else, Matt?
No, sir.
Thank you. Liz? Maureen?
Mary Ann and I will be at the GFOA conference at the latter part of this week. We hope to learn a lot. And if anybody needs to sign the book, come see me after. We'll get you signed so you don't have to come back later.
Very good. Thanks, Maureen. And Kathy?
So the first item I need from the board is an action item. And that is something I did send you a memorandum about, would have been last week at this point. We've been working with the DPW. Obviously, those employees at DPW are in a union. And I actually asked them originally last fall. And then more recently, we discussed it and it hadn't worked out, but very recently it has worked out. We've been having a little bit of trouble hiring because our starting rate is so low. The rate itself is not terribly low. It's not terribly high either. But our rule in the union contract is that any new employee is hired at 80% of what is in the wage schedule in the contract. And that is a fairly low number. And in today's job market is not nearly competitive enough to attract employees when they can go work almost anywhere you can think, including a lot of fast food places they probably a lot easier work than what our laborers are asked to do in our DPW. So very recently, the union did ultimately agree, and I thank them for it, that they will permit us to change their contract to eliminating, just for the labor position, the 80%. We do have, I think, one current employee who is still under the 100%. So that person would automatically go, even though they're not brand new, but we can't have the newer people starting higher than people who are already here. So all of the labor positions, whether they're brand new hires or current employees of ours, will all go to 100% of the wage scale that is in the contract. So I had let you know, Marcia asked some great follow-up questions, and I got you some additional information about the specifics of our rates. So I would ask that you take a resolution to authorize the supervisor to sign the memorandum of agreement that will be an addendum to the current DPW union contract that will permit us to do that.
Anybody want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Moved by Kristen, second by Marcia. Further discussion? I think it's great. Nice job. I'm glad they made that concession. That's awesome and make us more competitive. Get us the people we need.
Actually,
Damn right.
the skinny on that, as Matt says, he has a couple of people in the wings who interviewed previously and couldn't take the low pay, but maybe they'll come back with our higher rate.
Awesome.
Right. Be great.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Then a couple of other items. You did get earlier today, the report, it's been talked about it. You hired the engineer in your public meeting to look at the stock house, which Boyce Lidell owns over on the Roycroft property. And I know that the board would like to have some, not in detail, but some level of discussion about that property at a future meeting. So we will plan on that. And you have that report. Also, we had one resident who had brought to our attention, not surprisingly, about a concern about truck traffic on Pine. It is a concern on all of our residential roads if we have a lot of big truck traffic, which is unavoidable altogether. But we would like to see if we can get some voluntary compliance to not have a lot of that truck traffic go on the local roads. So I drafted a letter for the supervisor and mayor to sign for us to send to some of the specific companies who have trucks coming through town. The mayor actually massaged it a little bit and did some editing, and we have a final version of the letter. We will be sending it out to the companies and asking them please to, at any time possible, to have their big trucks to access Route 20A, which is mainly where probably they want to go if they're going other places in the vicinity, to access that on the 400 would be the ideal. So we'll be doing that on an ongoing basis whenever you get a report of repetitive trucks on our residential routes. We can zap that letter out with the mayors and the town supervisors' signature on it, asking for voluntary compliance to improve the quality of life for children and families, certainly on our residential roads.
Sure, yeah, and a resident pointed it out to us. He got us the names of the trucks that were going by on a regular basis. So now we know which companies to contact and ask them to take a different route.
Correct.
Take a throughway instead of going down through
and
side
the-
roads. And actually, it probably is even worse on Pine because Pine's such a mess, but we've been in contact with the county and it looks like they're gonna redo Maple and Pine. I think they're engineering it this year, they talked about, and then maybe do the actual project next year. So we're talking a full redo, not just like throw some pavement over the top of it. But that'll be nice. That'll be a welcome improvement.
And then some code revisions, one related directly to this particular topic, as we just talked about, well, the mayor and I have had conversation, I think with the town supervisor. Of course, our code would just be for within the village, to have just a prohibition against air compression brakes or off the Jake brakes or whatever they're called generally. So we'd have that addition that those would be prohibited to be used within the village. So that would also help with the truck situation and noise that's created by truckers who are in the village and use those, but they would not be able to use that in the future. We also talked about our temporary use permit, about having, if there's someone who applies after the fact, about increasing the fee, and also, and Maureen actually had done a letter to our businesses, encourage them, just informing them that we have this process. So if they have an event coming up, because we had one event that was recently after the fact for St. Patrick's Day, and she's given the letters to me, and I'm going to deliver those personally. And as I'm doing that, I'm also going to be talking to the merchants that have tree wells out in front about the flowers and the tree wells. So killing two birds with one stone there. So I'll be out and about, walking around, up and down Main Street, talking to our merchants about those two topics. And then also
Kathy,
the,
wait, 1 second.
Sure.
On the code, we had talked about perhaps rewriting the code in some way about the special use permit, the after the fact thing.
Yes.
So is that still?
yes,
on your
that's
list
a
of
code,
things?
that's one of a couple code revisions I'm gonna have. We'll probably at your next meeting, we'll be setting public hearings for those.
Okay.
And, but that's one of a few. And then the last one that also is a code revision, the assessors talked to me about increasing the income eligibility limits for the senior citizen property tax exemption. Every so often, the state increases those limits, but then we have to follow suit. Each jurisdiction does. The town, I believe, has already set a public hearing for that. The county has already done it, so it would be good for us to follow suit. And then we also would be looking possibly at an exemption for disabled, low-income persons that we don't have codified right now. So I have worked on all of those code revisions. So I'll be providing you with the red lines so you can see what we're eliminating, what we're adding. So those will be quite a few items you'll be setting a public hearing on to make code changes in the near future that I'll have for you. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Kathy. Kristen?
All set tonight. Thank you.
Grace?
Just like to say I'm happy to be here. Thanks for everyone's support and I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Ernie?
Like to congratulate the new board members and I'm so proud to be on this historic board where we have a female majority for the first time. It's a board's truly reflective of our community and never really felt comfortable when we have one woman on the board or two. It's just good to have this. It's more balanced and I appreciate the perspectives you'll bring. I just would like us to continue with a board that is respectful of each other's opinions and that we work together, that we're kind to each other, and that's what we have now, and I know this will continue, and so I look forward to working with you. And that's it.
Thank you, Ernie. Marcia?
I'm all set.
Molly?
Just happy to be here.
Steve?
Happy to have you.
Nothing, just welcome new board members and Ernie, yeah, right, no, just kidding. No, we get along just fine. Nothing else, no.
Nice. We're doing a lot of work on the PBA contract and Walnut. And that's all I want to say about those two things right now. So congrats to the 3 trustees and welcome to Molly and Grace.
And congrats to you as well. And you said this was going to be a short meeting.
I know, sorry. Cookies are all stale.
You can't
Tea's
say those
cold.
words.
All right, do we have anything else?
So it's like you request whoever those people are to do the GPS, and it was much improved. I don't know if you noticed, you're in center, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
they
you
just find a
can
different route.
contact them. So I don't know who would do it
Perfect.
here.
Yeah, maybe we'll loop in Larigo too and make sure we're doing everything we can to keep the trucks off the residential roads. Thanks, Alan.
I think we should ask Shane. He seems to have success.
Yeah. You knew best friend. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Marcia, second by
Steve got it.
Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. There are snacks and we'll have tea in a minute in the back.
People need something signed? You guys need something signed from school?